Hey guys, welcome back to Honkai Star Rail. In today's video, I want to discuss where to spend your stamina or Trailblaze power, whatever you want to call it, up to level 40. So I've reached level 40 now. You can see I'm level 41, and I want to go through what I did and what I would do again if I had my time over, because it's very interesting when you get in there and we don't know where like the end game is going to take us. For instance, we already know there are changes from what the beta itself was, in that when we unlock 5-star gear, you're guaranteed a drop, whereas in the beta it was only a 50% chance. So things do change, so take this with a grain of salt. I just wanted to give you guys the roundup on what I did and what I would do if I had my time again. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into a little TLDR sheet that I made of what I actually did. So that is going to be over here. So from level 10 to 20, you're looking at, I evenly went between character XP and Lycone experience. Now I'm just going to go through this quickly and then I'll jump into the game and go through my reasoning for everything. Level 20 to 30 was trace mats and very minimal planet ornaments. I'm talking like one rope and one orb for each of my main 5 characters. And then level 30 to 40 was a mix between trace materials, ascension materials, and simulated universe 5 or 6, because they had a really cool thing where you could get early 5-star gear. So that is like the TLDR version of what I did. So let's jump back into the game and go through our options. So when we take a look at it, like I said, in the early game, you unlock it at around level 9 or 10 is when you unlock your first stamina when you get to the Eurelo 6. So when you unlock it, all you have is character experience. Then eventually you will get Lycone experience and you will also get credits. Now, for me personally, I only went for character and Lycone experience. I never felt a need for extra credits. Now, once I've reached Trailblazer level 40, I did see it start to run out, but it's generated up again very quickly. So for me personally, I only went evenly between in-player experience and, character experience and Lycone experience, but you could go some credits if you want. Then when we get up to level 20, once you get your first trial of equilibrium done, you will unlock trace materials. And once I unlocked those, this was exactly what I started farming, because I had 5 main characters that I was building, and I wouldn't recommend leveling any more than that unless you just want to have fun testing things. More than 5 gets a bit strenuous, but so I went in and I started farming the trace materials for the specific characters that I was using. So for me, it was like doing 1 harmony, 1 hunt, 2 tank, and what was the last one? 1 erudition. So that was the ones that I farmed, and I farmed them until I could get all of my units traces to the max for that potential. And I even farmed some above that, looking towards reaching Trailblaze level 30, and then having the materials to instantly get them upgraded once I got to Trailblaze level 30. So farming those was like my next priority. However, in that same period, you should be unlocking Simulated Universe World 3, which is going to give you access to the planet ornament system. Now, when you unlock these planet ornaments, which is the ropes and the orbs, I call them, I think it's okay to do like 1 round of like Simulated World 3 where you maybe spend 40 to 80, 120 stamina max on these, just because when you unlock it, you don't have any of these things to equip to your characters. So when you don't have any to equip, if you just get anything, it's going to give you some stats, which is better than nothing. So that's why I did 1 quick run through. You'll get some 4 stars, you'll get some 3 stars, and you'll get some 2 stars, and you can just slap them onto your characters so that you're filling out these gear slots. I would not do anything more than that at this stage. There is no point. Now that leads me into another thing that I want to talk about, which is Caverns of Corrosion. I just don't see these at all until level 40 worth farming. Up until level 40, Trailblaze level 40 that is, you cannot get 5-star equipment. So I completely disregard these. I don't think it's ever worth farming that. When we look at getting into the 3rd world, which I can never pronounce properly. I do apologize. I have terrible pronunciation names. But the Lofu place. There is a lot of puzzles in that place that give you a lot of 4-star gear, and you really don't need to have great gear up until then anyway. So that'll give you just some basic 4-star gear to throw up on your characters that you don't really even need to upgrade. So I don't ever see, or I never saw a need for me personally, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, but if you want to, you can. But I don't think 4-star gear is really worth the farm at this phase. I think it's more important to get some trace materials up and all that sort of stuff so that you are prepared to upgrade your traces when you get to the next limit break. Next up, when we look at level 30 to level 40 Trailblaze level, that is where you will get to the point where you can probably clear World 4 of the Simulated Universe. And once you clear World 4 of the Simulated Universe, you will unlock World 5. Now, the unique thing about World 5 is as soon as you unlock it, you have access to 5-star planet ornaments. Now, this is sort of like farming at an efficiency of being above Trailblaze 40, but you're still below it. So I really loved the idea of this. Now, I farmed these for a fair bit. I actually got some really good planet ornaments. My one issue is that with these 4 sets you can farm, this one is pretty decent for your defensive units. The others, they're not really the optimal ones that I want to be farming. For me, when I start farming these things, I want to be going into World 3 personally, just because this one's very splashable, good on attack units, and this can go on just about anything else to help you support your team and heal up. Now, like I said, World 6 is not too bad. World 5, I'm just not a big fan of. So if you can get to World 6, you can maybe do some of this. Now, like I said, I spent a lot of time in here farming it, but it is very slow to burn your stamina, because when you get to this point, like I wasn't able to clear World 6, so I was going in fighting the first and second boss, resetting out, going in fighting the first and second boss again. I did that, probably ended up with about 20 pieces of gear from it, but it was too slow to actually burn all my stamina. So I think if you have the time, it's pretty decent because you are essentially farming at a higher efficiency. So it's not bad to do a bit. And while you're doing that, you're also getting benefits in your skill tree for the Simulated Universe, which means when you come back to it, it's going to be a lot easier. But in general, I think this is okay. But like I said, not my ideal sets that I want to be farming. So I was pretty happy to go through, but I couldn't spend all my stamina in there. So what I did with the rest of my stamina was go ahead and farm the stagnant shadows for my ascension materials, just to get enough materials that I needed to get my main 5 characters to the next limit break once I reached max level, which was level 50. And then on top of that was back to the trace materials, because we needed them for light cone upgrades, and we also needed them for light cone ascensions and for the trace unlocks. So what I did here was I farmed enough for all of my main characters, enough trace materials to go ahead and get them up to the point where I could get them to what was considered the new max level. However, my problem was I did not realize how many levels you could actually get into them once we got there. Now, my Trailblazer is a bit different because he's got extra ones, but for instance here, so I left enough to get my Survival to level 5. However, I didn't realize that once we reached this level limit, we would be able to upgrade these 2 times. So farming even more trace materials, in my opinion, wouldn't be a bad idea. But in general, I was pretty happy with the process I went through of doing some Simulated Universe, getting those 5-star planet ornaments, and then also doing a bunch of trace materials and obviously the ascension materials to get them there. And that's the way I would definitely do it again. If we take a look at some of the relics I ended up getting, like I did get some okay relics like this one. We had some pretty good rolls into this one, double speed rolls, double crit damage rolls. You know, I got a fair few from farming these before I reached level 40. Once I've reached level 40, it's a different game. I'll make a whole another video talking about that, about what gear sets to farm and stuff like that. But as you can see, I did do decently well. For some reason, the game just wanted to give me ropes over orbs. I don't know why, it's just a thing. But I spent a bit of time there farming. I don't regret that. The other thing from farming that is you're also getting higher amounts of 4-star, what I call fodder, that we can then scrap to use to upgrade other gears. So you're farming that upgrade fodder, which you will need a ton of at a higher efficiency if you are farming this stuff pre-level 40. So once again, that is what I did. If we take a look at my TLDR version once again, evenly between character XP and light cone XP, if you feel a need for gold, you can definitely do that from level 10 to 20. Level 20 to 30 is trace materials and minimal, very minimal planet ornaments if you need a couple. Unless planet ornaments you unlocked at level 30, wherever they fell into, like a couple runs of them wasn't too bad. And then from level 30 to 40, it's a mixture between trace materials, getting a ton of them. You can never farm enough trace materials that I learned, because you can actually upgrade your traces 2 levels once you hit that next limit break, which is huge. Then we got the essential materials, obviously self-explanatory, just so once you hit that equilibrium level, you can just go ahead and ascend your characters. And then obviously we need, if we want to, and we're able to reach Simulated Universe 5 or 6, you can do some of those. My personal opinion is 6 is a better option, but if you can only do 5, it's still an option for you. And in general, I just completely avoid farming the Caverns of Corrosion until I hit level 40 and I can get 5-star gear drops from them. But anyway, that is my general roundup on stamina so far. I will update you guys for level 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and so on and so forth as we progress in the game. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing the next one. Cheers.